Good afternoon and welcome to OptionsTender's Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I hope everybody had a wonderful extended weekend. Couldn't wait to get back on the computer. Did tons of charts over the weekend, and I hope that you enjoyed them. Those are for members. And we're doing this intraday about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's 99 cents. Just help support the channel. If you want all those extra videos, that's $4.99 a month. Drop in the bucket. So here's where we left off from the weekend. All right. So we're looking at this major trend line here, broke down, back tested, and we're in this zone. So we talked about, I'm not going to go into full detail of everything. It's going to be simple. Okay. I talked about the 6,900 area. I talked about the 6,800 area. We marked it. Holding on to it again today. It's going to get weaker. All right. So if we get above 6,900, we're going to have to start leaning a little bit more bullish to the upper trend. Okay. You certainly got to get back. You're certainly still in a downtrend from this point, but there's just no real reason why price should get back above the 6,900. Okay. Now, we break down from 6,800, and we're going to be in pretty quick order down to about 6,500. That's 650 on SPY. Okay. And then what we did was we anticipated that we would get that low, and then we'd get a large bounce, tradable bounce back to this zone. Probably reject off of it, but if it gets back in it, obviously, you got the 786 here too, but the golden pocket here. So our projection is this zone. We'll look for a drop. Let me just change this up a bit. Get ourselves a pretty little arrow here. And then we'll look for a bounce. Okay. And then we'll look for the bear market to continue. Now, this will take time. This is clearly is a diamond top. And you'll probably see this equilibrium come out here, and it's going to take some time. So I'm not saying all this is going to happen this week, next week. We'll probably be able to find a low into next week. Okay, we have timing and all that good stuff. We went through the cycles and all that for members. So come join us in there. I really like to have you. And the memberships, both of them come with the cheddar data. We use the dark pools often, and then the trade alerts and such in there as well. So that's where we're looking at. Today is very important for the VIX. Why is that? Well, you know what? Sorry to do this to you, but let's talk about the moving averages. So we are pinched between the 8 EMA and the, on the weekly time frame, we're pinched between the 8 and the 20. So that's going to resolve pretty soon here to the upside or downside. We don't know that yet, but we're pinching in between. Let's just take note of that. And then our momentum is down. Our trend is down so far. Really, we've just been going sideways at this point, but a big move is coming. That whenever moving averages come together like this in a cluster, things start to get wacky and wild. All right. I think that's going to be to the downside. So if you're bullish, you want to make sure you get back above this 8, back above this 50, back above this 20. That's the 6,900 level. All right. There's no coincidence why that level is so important. And so I don't trust this bounce. It might bounce today or tomorrow. We might get a doji. We have VIXpiration that lets go of the VIX. So maybe by Thursday, we're heading lower. Okay. If we have to time it like that. Okay. But speaking of timing, we're going to look at the VIX, and we have two downtrend lines. We added one onto here, and we're rejecting again off of it. The momentum is still up. The trend is still up. This VIX is very bullish. We're in a rising phase, but check this out. Right here, right now, this low today is the ideal low for the VIX in the minor phase here, the minor cycle. Okay, what does that mean? It means we're getting this pullback temporarily for this zone, and then we resume the upside. This is a bullish configuration. Okay, and after we break out from, let's call it 23, a 23 level, there should be some acceleration at that point, much bigger moves in the VIX. All right, and it's even more bearish. I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's even more bearish if the VIX doesn't move very fast, but the market does to the downside. Okay, that's just leaving room for the VIX to continue to grind higher. So be careful for that. We'll watch there, but our levels remain the same. We're doing everything right. We're just being patient and rolling with it. Okay, so going down to the, let's go to SPY. Let's go to SPY in the 65. I know a lot of you, most people trade SPY, so that's usually why I do the videos like that. So what we have here, all right, we had our downtrend. We broke down from there. We have, you know, I guess you can call it a descending triangle. You can call it head and shoulders, whatever you want to. It still measures out the same way. You have this area here, and we've been looking at this zone to come down to. Now the timing is clearly, I wasn't meaning to put any specific time frame on this. I was just showing a pathway. So I still think that pathway is down here and not all in a straight line. Once you get to this zone here around 660, that's going to be the meat of the trade. You have a gap here that I marked off, and that's when things are going to start to get a little choppier. So once we get going, once we let go of 680 is really where I'm talking about, but obviously the low here is 675. So when this breaks and breaks definitively, then we'll be here in short order. Probably just one day. I think it should probably take to get down to this level, but then it should take some time to chop around to get to support and ultimately to 650 down here. All right, or at least testing the lows. All right, so that's where our green area is. I know it's a huge box there, but you know, price does not have to go all the way to the downside. You can have a slanted head and shoulders up here where you get support up here. So we'll be looking at all the indicators and such in that when that happens. So right now we can look at the 65. I didn't look at all the other things on SPY, all the other indicators, because it hasn't really changed. We have our trend indicator, right? We're fighting the trend right now. I don't trust that the bounce will necessarily even get a higher point than here. Okay, I already added on puts at this point. And as a matter of fact, I added on 650 strikes. Okay, that's how confident I am in this rolling over. Plus, we had some great cheddar flow that gave us that confidence. Okay, you're fighting the moving averages. All right, if you do get higher, then we have the 200 to play with here. That's at 689, 690 area, right? 6,900 on SPX. All you do is add a zero. It's not perfect, but very similar. Okay, so you'll fight with these moving averages. Again, I don't trust that this is even going to make a higher low here, right? That peak, but it could. Colin. Okay, so we had that oversold bounce. That's giving us the bounce right now. We're not in any position. Again, when you're in a bear trend, you don't really have to get much further than the 50-60 area and this can stay down here, okay, for as long as it needs to till it gets to its target. So we're already in that position. We're not oversold anymore. We're fighting against the 20 moving average. You saw that on the trend. The slow stochastic has already reached its upper point. So our next closing candle, we'll see where we're at from there. And then we're trying to test that leader line, the blue one, is testing that MACD. And you can tell by the histogram it's getting really close there to the zero. That, I think, is going to continue to the downside. All right, so we're in bearish conditions. DMARC. DMARC, we had a 9 count, exhaustion, came a little lower, we're getting a bounce. No real setup right here. Money flow. Money flow, we came down again to the lower limits, made a little positive divergence. That's giving us a bounce here. Let's see what happens next. This could be accumulation. And that certainly was a good indicator for that bounce. So that was a buy signal for you micro-term traders. And your Bollinger Band, same thing. You had the 2 buy signals here. One here and one here. And believe me, if this is going to make this 650 area, we're gonna make new lows on this RSI. Okay, we're gonna make new lows here, not just positive divergence. We're gonna make new lows and then talk about some positive divergence as we get there. Okay, same thing with the money flow index. We'll probably make new lows past that boundary that we were looking at. All right, we're on a volume shelf that's clear. LA to oscillator. We're in this red territory. I don't think we're going to be out of this red territory until we finish and complete our move lower. Okay, so let's look at the VIX one last time from the 65-minute. And we're getting near that 8 EMA again on the VIX. So the VIX is almost done. The VIX is almost bottomed out here. Does it come all the way back down to the options expected move or the breakout happen? Maybe, but I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. The momentum, 8 EMA is right in this area. Okay, close the gap today. So what gap do we close next? Looks like this one right up here. All right. That's all I got for you guys. We're going to keep it super simple. We're looking for this to continue lower. All right. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join us in the Discord, and we'll see you soon.